Beta, how can you control something that you do not quite understand? Our friend here is controlling the operations of this camera. How is he able to control the operations? Because he understands the functioning. He knows what leads to what, he knows when to pull a lever, he knows when to press a button. He knows all these things, right? To control anything, you need to understand, right? In fact, once you have understood, then you don't even need to control. Do you understand what are emotions? What are emotions? We all get emotional quite often. But have we bothered, have we paused to ask what is this thing called emotion? What is emotion?
Emotions are basically those small activities which affects our being in a great sense or in a greater manner, through which our expression, our nature changes drastically.
All right. Understand this. You may be sitting here and there may be some kind of irritation in the mind, right? But you are sitting silently. That irritation is not showing up in your body or upon your face. The irritation increases. The mind becomes more disturbed. What will start happening? You will start fidgeting a little. You will start looking here and there. Your body will become restless, right? After some time, the irritation increases even further and becomes anger. Now what will happen? Your face will change a little. Your eyes will change a little. What you call as the pupil of the eyes, that will become a little dilated. And if the anger increases a little more in the mind, it's a thought, right? The irritation, the thought. If it increases a little more in the mind, then your body will start shivering. Your cheek will get red. You may even get violent. And then the people around will say that he has become emotional. What is emotion? Emotion is just thought. Thought that becomes severe, intense. Thought that has gathered a lot of energy. A lot of energy is stored in the subconscious. Thoughts usually remain at the surface level. But when the thought becomes intense, then it gets connected to the energy of the subconscious. You can leave all that aside. You can just understand that intense thought is called emotion. There is nothing special about emotion. There is nothing sacred about emotion. Emotion is thought. When the thought becomes powerful, it starts having an impact upon the body. And then you say that I have become emotional. Till the time it is just a thought, its effect upon the body cannot be seen. But when the same thought becomes intense, then the whole body expresses that thought, and that expression is called emotion. You may start weeping. A little bit of sadness, you do not weep. More sad thoughts, and then what happens? The eyes start flowing, and then you say that I have become emotional. So what is emotion? But what happens is that we give undue regards to emotions. We feel as if emotions are very special. No, emotions are just an expression of your conditioning. Just as thoughts arise from conditioning, so do emotions. Emotions too are an expression of your conditioning. But that's not the way we look at it. When somebody is just saying something to us, let's say somebody says, kindly give me 500 rupees, we may not accept the request. But if the same person says with tears, please give me 500 rupees, then we are likely to give 500 rupees. Why? Because we think that emotions are true. We think that emotions are special. We think that emotions must be respected. But there is nothing special in emotions. Emotion is thought. And all thought is conditioning. Thought comes from outside. You have acquired it. Similarly, emotions are acquired. That is why one person weeps at X and the other person weeps at Y. So, do not ask what to do with emotions. Rather ask, how do I look at my conditioning? Because your emotions are just an expression of your conditioning. How do I look at my conditioning? From morning till evening, whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever you think, if you pay attention to it, that is the only way to discover your conditioning. And as you discover your conditioning subsides. It will no more have the same power. And you will find that you are gaining in sensitivity. When conditioning comes down, when the mind becomes light, free, clean, then you become progressively less emotional. Less emotional, but more sensitive. Less emotional, but more sensitive. Small things will touch you. You will start knowing, experiencing what you would have never experienced earlier. And it will be a very fresh thing that would now be happening to you. Emotions are stale. You already know what will make you angry, right? Don't we have all our buttons? You already know that if I say this kind of a statement to you, then you will become angry, right? So emotions are conditioned. Emotions are stale. You already know what will make you happy. If someone comes and says a sentence, you are looking so beautiful, you will become happy. So all emotion is pre-programmed. You already know what makes you happy. You already know that if you receive that kind of an SMS on your mobile phone, you will start crying, right? It is certain that if a message in such and such words comes to you, you will start crying. So there is nothing in emotions. All emotion is conditioned, pre-programmed, acquired. Sensitivity is an altogether different thing. Sensitivity means being open to the new and fresh. Like looking at a sunrise for the first time. Like splashing fresh, cool water on your face in the morning. That is sensitivity. That fresh experience. And that is not being emotional. That is not a sentiment. Yes,